are you? Welcome to the Soul Space with Georgia Rose. I hope you're all having a good week. Tonight, we're going to talk about light and how we can all shine our light in the world, especially during these very challenging times that we're having. So, I feel like I have so much stuff on my desk tonight. I've got my little thing for cards, I've got my iPad so I can see all of you guys and make your answer your comments. And then I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we are starting a merch store. So I'm going to have all kinds of Zencuda merchandise for you. You see our Zencuda logo, the Zencuda logo behind me. We're making T-shirts and mugs and tumblers and all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned because we are going to tell you probably next week where all this stuff is going to be. We've got this beautiful space in the back that Bobby is actually able to print everything on T-shirts and logos, and he makes such great stuff. So if you have a business and you want some stuff made, talk to Bobby Lacera because he's doing awesome stuff for me. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about light, how we shine our light in the world, how important it is now for us to keep our light going. And I also want to talk a little bit about the astrology because it ties into all this light. So as you guys come in, I would love to have you share the show for me. We've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to just get going right away. So first, before I do that, a little housekeeping. I want to talk about a special guest that I'm going to have on the show next Monday night, the 23rd, and that is Catherine Marinelli Gagliano. And I've known Kathy, here she is on the screen. I've known her for a pretty long time, and she's just a beautiful soul. Talk about light. She is just filled with light. That's Kathy with her son, who's autistic. And Kathy has really been a force in the autism world. She wrote a book called A Mother's Intuition. She's working on her second book. Kathy is the parent of two special needs children, and she knows just what that's like on a day-to-day basis. And yet she's able to maintain her positivity and has a really spiritual outlook and a world of wisdom and knowledge to impart for us, for anybody going through that challenge. So Kathy's going to be with us next Monday night, and she is what she says right here. She is a mother warrior, she calls herself, equipped with a strong faith and an infallible intuition when it comes to the challenges facing her children. So I really can't wait to hear her story. She's going to be with us next Monday live in the studio. So what else have I got for you guys? Well, I want to talk a little bit about the astrology. So I have to tell you, I'm sure you're all still reeling and trying to reconcile that Libra eclipse that we had over the weekend. Now, I can tell you, I felt so out of sorts, and I don't usually feel that way. It's very rare for me that I feel like that. I'm usually feeling very harmonious, but for whatever reason, boy, this weekend, it like hit me like as soon as I got home Friday afternoon. I had been out doing quite a lot of things, and I came home Friday afternoon, and it was just like this annoying, like feeling like I couldn't be comfortable in my body. I felt like there was too much going on, too much noise, and it was very hard for me all weekend to focus on anything in particular. I still feel a little bit like that, but it's subsiding. So I'm interested to see your comments and what you guys felt with that eclipse because I thought it was strange at best. It's the only way I can talk about it. But this week, 16th, 17th, we have that annoying energy still with us a little bit. Really interested to see if you guys felt that because I certainly did. But this week, the Sun and Mercury are really playing around a lot. And the Sun, is our life force, it's our vitality. And Mercury is the way we think in our minds. The Sun and Mercury are coming into focus now, especially they're going to be conjuncting. Mercury is going to conjunct them, means they meet in the sky together on the 19th, which I believe is Thursday. And that's going to be an energy that'll be a little bit uncomfortable for us. But it's also an energy we can use in order to shine a light on the things that really we need to focus on, the places in our life that need to have a little bit of a revelation and be revealed. This is a focus of will. So this week is the week to really think about what you really want your life to look like. Who do you really want to show up to be in the world? And what are the things you have to work on in order to do that? Mercury, Sun is going to really shine a light on those things. Those planets are also aspecting the South Node in Libra. What does that mean? It means that you may have things come up that are repetitive or from your past. Some people I know have been talking about old relationships or family members they haven't spoken to in a long time coming back into the picture. That's very common with a sky like this. It is because, Mercury brings things in that we need to communicate with or about. Sometimes those conversations are just with ourselves, right? We don't always have to speak to a person to reconcile something. Sometimes it means just working on an energy within us. But this is an energy that can, especially towards the 20th, which is, I believe, Friday, bring in more power struggles. We're going to be in that mode of power struggles for a while now because Pluto is really strong in the sky. And we have a lot of opposition to Pluto. Pluto's in Capricorn. We have a lot of squares to Pluto with Libra there. Libra, South Node, Mercury, the Sun, these Moon just went out of Libra. They're all having oppositions to that Pluto energy, which is all about power struggles. That's why we're seeing all these things happen with relationships, with the focus on will, that kind of stuff. But the way to use this energy is really to try and pay attention and observe what does come into focus, because what I can tell you is those things are coming into focus for your betterment. Many times in a sky like this, especially when we have squares to Pluto and the nodes in the picture with that energy, it oftentimes means that something's going to be revealed that maybe has been an annoyance to you, or something's going to be revealed that is not an easy energy to deal with, but it gets revealed and it gets brought to light so that you can deal with it, and you have to focus on it. It's almost like, if you ever had a blister on your foot, right? And you think it's going to heal, but it's just taking an extra long time to heal, but it keeps pinching you and it keeps pinching you because you really need to go to the doctor. It's that kind of energy. Or if you have a toothache and you keep letting it go and you're letting it go, you won't be able to ignore it with a sky like this. So whatever your toothache or your blisters are, they're going to come out. It's a very noisy week. Just like last week, we have all these things going on across the globe. That energy is just going to keep amped up and be noisy. I noticed that a lot of media is paying attention to these things that are going on in the world, the conflicts in Israel, and other things repetitively and just all the time in a 24-hour cycle, nonstop. Just the revolution and evolution of it is just the energy just keeps winding and winding and winding. And remember last week when I said we were going to have energy like that, but it was just noise and it was a lot of activity, but nothing really changes. That's what we're seeing out in the world right now, reporting on the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, but nothing's really changed yet. The energy's not going to move probably until the end of the week and towards the weekend. This is where it's just a lot of noise, and people in conflict won't give up the fight. It's that kind of energy. So how is that playing out in your own worlds? We see how that's playing out in the world globally, but how is those kind of conflicts, those kind of power struggles playing out for you personally? Because, there's definitely the macrocosm of how that happens, and then there's the microcosm of we have a reflection of that in our lives. On the 21st, the moon and Pluto become aligned. And when that happens, this is really an energy of what is spoken is real. What's spoken is not an idle threat. When someone tells you something, it's truth. This is an energy, especially because we've got planets now going into Scorpio. The sun's going into Scorpio. Mercury goes into Scorpio before the sun. This is an energy now where we're in Scorpion energy. Scorpion energy likes to expose things. It's also very much an energy where people are not fooling around. What they mean is what they say, and what they say is what they mean. When the sun goes into Scorpio, it has an aspect that we call a trine, which is a triangle aspect to Saturn. And the trine aspect to Saturn, which happens on the 23rd and 24th, moves into Scorpio on the 21st, 22nd happens on that transition. That's when now spoken words become real, threats become real. People say things and they mean them. Then on the 23rd and 24th, the sun now goes into Scorpio and forms that same trine with Saturn that Mercury already did. Saturn is a limitation. Saturn is an energy that will put us in a frame of mind where something comes into our focus, our view, that's very authoritative. It's a limitation. It's like the dad, the father energy. It's military. It can be literal law and order and police. And so it could be an energy of a leader coming into focus that is extremely tyrannical or authoritarian. And it limits our power in some way. It's freedom versus freedom, kind of power struggle type of energy. This is the culmination of an energy that we've been in for quite a few years now. So really pay attention because it's coming in so that we find a new way to deal with it. All right. Um, we also, these trines bring a new wave of stability. So in an energy like this, things will stabilize and we'll have a resolution, but it may not be the resolution that was your ideal outcome. So an example of that might be you're waiting for a promotion at work and your boss is very authoritative and you really don't like his style and you're hoping that your promotion comes and it's promotes you out of the department. But instead the promotion comes and you're head of the department that you're in. It could be something like that. Something finally resolves that's been a power drama or a power struggle to do with resolved in the most ideal way that you expect, but it will resolve. That's the energy right now. October 26th, the moon goes into Aries, and this is an energy that invites Venus in, which is the things we love and value. So I know that's more towards the end of the week, but that is when we start to tune up for that eclipse that happens next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. And I'll talk more about that when the time comes. The reason why I'm bringing it up now is because it's a very, very, very powerful eclipse. It's piggybacked on the one that we just had. This one's a lunar eclipse in Taurus, and that's all about letting things go. So prepare for that because we have all this noise this week and a lot of conflict. A lot of things are going to come into play, start to resolve, but not necessarily in the way you want. And then in 10 days from now, we're going to be asked to let go of energy that comes in to clear out. And sometimes that can be really difficult. So I just want that on your radar so that you're prepared for it and we can use the energy to guide us. This is all of this time up until the end of October as we transition from Libra to Scorpio energy. This is a time about not only releasing the past, but actually being able to understand what needs to separate from the past. And it could really be to do with a lot of relationships and even more specific relationships that are to do with Libran and Scorpio type things. Where you've always tried to be diplomatic, now that's gone out the window, and whatever this leadership role is or the authoritative role is that is restrictive for you, that's Saturn trine, this is where it becomes dissolved or bust open. This is really about that separation from the past that didn't work. So we're holding on to too much stuff. That's really what this is about. We're holding on to way too much stuff. There's too much noise in the world. It's overwhelming, and something has to break apart. And so we're going to see some of the patterns in our life now start to take on new form as some of our major planets get ready to shift energy in 2024. We're finishing up. We're cleaning out the debris. It's really a catharsis. It is an energy where at the end of this, we're going to really be able to see what's real and our confusion will be lessened, but we kind of are passing through the eye of that needle first. So I wanted to talk a little bit about light tonight, and then I'm going to go to some cards because I know you guys like that. We haven't done it in a while. But especially when we just had a lot of planets aspecting the South Node, which is the past. I know both psychically and astrologically, my energy and my intuition, my meditations tell me that we are going to be really letting go of a lot of things in our past and letting go of a lot of things that sometimes we have to grieve a little bit. And there's a tremendous amount of grief in the world right now as well. And that can also be overwhelming. I find it drains my energy a little bit. I have the South Node right on my sun right now, which is a very draining type of energy. And for all of us, because the sun is in Libra and the South Node is there, we will feel a little bit drained. Sun is our vitality and the South Node is the past. So we feel a drawing inward. It's really hard to keep our light lit, our flames lit in this type of energy. And now we have all these things going on in the world that can be very overwhelming, very much an energy of grief, of sadness, and it's really hard to keep our light on. But now is the most important time for us to try and ignite ourselves and stay passionate about the things we love, keep compassion in our heart, and really stay lit up. And there's some reasons for that, which I'm going to go into tonight. It's not just, the breakdown, the breakthrough, and then the breakout, right? I always say things happen to us in threes. It's not just that energy, it's also a really personal thing. It's really important for us not to get caught up in the fear, in the darkness that's in the world. We're hearing stories like we've never heard before. You know, people are calling this a Holocaust in some ways. And it is, of course. The difference is that during the Holocaust, we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have reporters showing us pictures and we didn't have people videotaping things that happened and we didn't hear so much. It was not exposed. As the planets turn into Scorpio, it will be exposed even more. And we have to be prepared for that. So I recently was reading on social media about a light worker friend of mine who was advising everyone to completely shut down media and not listen to anything. She said that what she really thought was that she had to shut it all out and kind of ignore it because if she didn't, then she wouldn't be able to be a light in the world. She would be drawn in. And she went on to say how she felt that it was almost like in order for her to put on her own oxygen mask in order to help others, she had to completely dissociate and go away from that energy and really from paraphrasing now, but kind of ignore that it's even out there in the world. And I'm really going to implore you all not to do that. Sometimes we have to look at repulsive things. And in doing that, that's how we truly become warriors. I'm not saying to get entangled in it and wallow in it and be obsessed about it and watch it 24 hours a day. But what I am saying is that you can't ignore it either. These things are going on in the world and they are happening for a reason. And just like after our 9/11 here in the United States, the vibration of the world went very, very high because all of a sudden everyone was so filled with compassion and our tenderness came out. And in doing that, the world began to vibrate higher than it ever did before. So if we don't look at tragedy and we don't look at depravity, we don't find compassion. And if we don't find compassion and we don't find that tender space in our hearts where we really can not only feel someone's pain, but also send them love and healing and triumph over that pain, then we're really not living our purpose in this world. Because the purpose of humans and humanity is to help one another, to give light to one another, to support one another, to elevate one another. We can't do that if we're ignoring what happens in the world. The most powerful thing we can do is be in light and be enlightened and be aware and use all of that energy to send beautiful vibrations to anyone suffering in the world. That is the best thing that we can do in this energy. And in doing that and in lighting our own light, not feeling guilty when you find joy, being able to smile at people when you go to the store, maybe that person that is online next to you looking very sad is really wrapped up in this energy. And maybe your smile will give them a little bit of light and bring them out of it, right? I heard a emergency room doctor, I think it was in Israel, and she said that she had to take a break. It may have been someone working in the morgue. And she had to take a break from her duties because they were so overwhelming. And she went outside and she heard one of our politicians, the mayor of New York, I think it was, in his speech that he gave in support of their country. And she said, it gave me the energy I needed to go back in and continue my job. That's who we have to be now. We have to be the light for the world. It's more important than ever. We can sit in our homes and we can watch a 24-hour news cycle and we can get disgusted and embittered and go out and want to hurt someone or want to scream and yell or want to be really angry. Or we can see something and internalize it and go into a meditation or a quiet introspection or a walk in a beautiful woods or by the water and send that energy out to anyone in suffering. I think the latter is far better to do. And I'm sorry if I sound preachy, but I think that a lot of light workers who maybe aren't as courageous as they can be, or maybe haven't reached a pinnacle of courage that they are going to reach at one point, are telling people to censor their media so much that you're ignoring things that are happening. And I don't think that's the answer. That's just my personal and humble opinion. I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is seeing things, being aware of it, realizing its reality, and then going to work and spreading light everywhere we possibly can to battle it. And that's what I intend to do. And I hope that the Zenkuda community is behind me in doing that, because if we ignore it, then it gives more power to it and darkness will overpower things. But the only way we can fight it is with light. So I'd really love to have each one of you shine your light. And there's a way that we can actually embody that. And sometimes in our personal lives, I know this has been a pattern with me. I did not always shine my light. Sometimes I kind of hid my light under a bushel, as the expression goes. And there's a verse, I'm not exactly biblical, that's for sure. But once in a while, I do have a verse from my childhood come back to me. And this is Matthew. And the verse is, and I believe the song, This Little Light of Mine, was actually like written in lieu of this verse. But it goes something like this. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. When we shine our light, we're connecting people and ourselves with creation, Creator. And we have to have faith that Creator has an energy that combats the darkness. And so, you guys know I'm not religious and I don't follow a structured religion, but I do believe in creation energy. And so each one of us has a light inside of us, and we have something really unique that we do that brings light into the world. Sometimes we're everyday heroes in this way, like Bobby Lacerra in the studio. He built this beautiful space where people come for self-expression, and he has music here and all kinds of joy, and people come because they really enjoy themselves here. And I love doing my show, and I have a beautiful platform here that puts me in touch with people all over the world, and I can shine my light. And now he's doing these products and this creative stuff, and he's just shining his light and expressing himself in the world and creating more light and more light. And so we all have something unique that's inside us that we do, and we can do that. So on my Facebook page, Zenkuda Soul Space, I would like all of you to post something that is your light, your accomplishment, something unique that you do. Maybe you take care of an elderly parent and you make them smile. Maybe you're a nurse and you take care of sick people. Or maybe you're just a bus driver and people, love you because you're so positive every day. Or maybe you've won an award that was really a great thing in your life. Or maybe you write music or poetry, or maybe you paint or draw, or maybe you take care of children, or maybe you knit or sew, or whatever it is, you have a light. And we don't always put that out in the world. We think, people think we're bragging, or I'm not worthy of the accolade, or I shouldn't show myself, right? It's a protection. It's an armor that we wear. I don't want people to know I do all that because they might judge me or they might criticize me. But that's what makes you uniquely you, and you should be shining that light because it'll touch people and give them light. So I want us all to celebrate light in that way. A few years ago, I think it was 2019, I had this campaign I did that was the Year of Light, and I had people post pictures of light from all over the world, and they had like sunsets and sunrises and light coming off the water and light in the forest and all this stuff. Well, now I want us in this beautiful season when it gets darker earlier where I live, and I want us to put light in the world by our accomplishments and make yourself feel worthy and shine your light and know that you are absolutely, completely deserving of the things that make you you and shining your light out in the world. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now is the time that we are called to be more of a light in the world than we have ever been. Surround yourself with light, embody light, know that you are created in light. You are endowed with light. We are merged with light. I mean, light is everything. It's all of our energy. So I just wanted to talk about that, especially because we just had these eclipses and we're in eclipse season and we just finished one eclipse and we're headed to another. And that's all about light and dark. It's all about the power of the two most precious illuminaries that we know here on Earth, the moon and the sun, coming together and passing over each other, whether it's a lunar or a solar eclipse. It defines that. And what that means is that the illumination of either the sun or the moon is dark for a few moments, symbolizing that quiet contemplation that we all go into when we have to go into the darkness or we have to go into our own solitude or our own quietude, and then we find the light again. That's what an eclipse is symbolizing. It's also symbolizing that energy of impermanence and how nothing is light forever, but yet there is always light. It's a revolution of our lives. So here's some things that we can do to turn on what I call our heart light, and play music too. There's that song, I think it's Neil Diamond, Heartlight. But spend time nourishing yourself, because when you do that, that's when your light grows brighter and we put more light in the world. We're vibing high, and that's going to help people all over the universe. So smile. I see a lot of really heavy energy in the world right now and people really not smiling the way they should. And we have to keep that smile on our face because it really does brighten the day. Be there for a friend. We're all so damn busy and we're also in so much noise. Like maybe today's the day that you could, or tomorrow's the day that you could just pick up the phone and call a friend and say, hey, I'm going to come over for a cup of tea. I'm stopping for some, bread or some biscuits or some donuts. You want one? And maybe you just sit on a porch or you go sit on a park bench and just spend 15 minutes with somebody that really needs to just be touched by you. Hug somebody. And not just a hug like we do when we walk into our offices or our homes. Take somebody and hug them for 5 minutes. Feel them. Allow them to process grief. We all have so much grief in our bodies and our minds and our hearts from what's going on in the world. Process that by hugging somebody and hug each other and process your grief. I know to this day, no one has ever hugged me and allowed me to process my grief. I've had to process it in many different ways, but I've never been blessed enough to have anyone really be able to do that for me. So think about where you want to do that in your life, and that will lighten the load and create more light in the world. Just be friendly. When we're in stores a lot, I notice no one wants to talk to each other or make eye contact. Just be friendly with people. Shine your light. Use your passion. Like one of the things I love, believe it or not, is bicycle riding. So I've been trying to do that a lot more. And when I bike ride, I smile. And someone really special to me for my birthday bought me the best gift ever. And I've had like the most expensive gifts. And I've had birthdays where I've gotten nothing because there was no money. So I've always lived in extremes. And what I can tell you is somebody just bought me a really cute old-fashioned bell for my bike. And it goes bring, bring. And I just love it. It's my bell for my bike. And it just touched me. And you can see it just bubbles up in me, that little joy from it's probably a $5 item that I just love. So do something like that for yourself or somebody else. And that's sharing optimism and gratitude. And when we share optimism and gratitude, it's really hard to stay in the dark. It's hard to stay in the heavy energy. Gratitude is the antidote for everything in life. If you can be in gratitude, you definitely are raising your vibe. Give to charity. Do something proactive. If there's something that really bothers you, maybe you see pictures of pets that are abandoned and it just hurts your heart so much. Well, do something about it. Give time or money or something. Give what you can. Listen with intent. I'm taking a course in astrology now with people from all over the world, and I listen to all the videos twice because I don't get them the first time, and I really want to intently listen. So it's been my habit to schedule certain time during my week where there's nothing else distracting me and I sit and I really listen. Maybe do that with a person in your life without the intention to reply. Just listen, hold space, and empathize with others. We can have empathy and we can be in a space of empathizing with people without having to be so terribly entangled in it, without having to let it give us more negative emotions or allowing us to go in a depressive state or a heavy state. We can still have empathy for people and not get entangled that way, right? So I'm going to go to comments now. I got everybody on. I'm just saying hi to everybody now. Hey, Janine. Hey, Monica. Hey, Michael. Hey, Albert. Um, Hi, Michelle. How are you? Second time today, right? Michelle was in my real estate training earlier today. Hey, Marianne. And I've got, yeah, navigating grief on your own. Such a hard thing to do. I think, that's why my dog was brought to me. I know it sounds really funny, but I think my dog, Sparky, I love you. We're up there, Sparky. I'm going to see you one day again. We'll meet again. Um, I think that was something that was brought into my life because I think I processed a lot of grief through my pet, and people do that. So it's really cool. So I want to see, I know we don't have a lot of people on tonight. It's that time of year, but we, sometimes at this time of year when it starts to get cold, today was our first cold day last night where I am in the world. Temperatures went down in the 40s. So whenever that happens, people start to nest and viewership, and you see less traffic on the road and everything. But I would love to see in the comments some of your accomplishments and things that you've done that have really made you shine your light in the world, and just be out there. And it's really important for us to do that. The other reason why that's so important is because when we spend time acknowledging our gifts and acknowledging really great stuff about ourselves, it also helps us to form a much stronger identity and a much stronger foundation about who we are in the world. And we're not so shook up by things. We get this unshakable, I talk about it a lot, that unshakable serenity where we're not so easily criticized, and we're not so insecure when people do criticize me and you, and criticize us, I should say. All right, so Anita just came on too. This month is speeding by. I said that. Julie, hey Julie, I haven't seen you in a long time. I said that when we first came into October. I said, guys, this month is going to go like that. I couldn't believe it. I have next week some public events that I have to attend, and I just realized tonight that they're next week. I was like, but they're way at the end of October. Oh my gosh, tomorrow's the 17th already. So I'm going to pull some cards. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards for, the reason the energy is speeding up is because Mercury and a couple of the other planets, Mercury sped through, and I said it on the beginning of the show, Mercury is speeding through Libra, going to be in Scorpio this month. And a lot of planets also came out of retrograde. We still have some in retrograde, but Venus came out of retrograde, Mars came out of retrograde, and they're just speeding through the zodiac. So it makes us feel like time is going really fast. And also, as we get older, time goes faster. I can definitely account for that. I've lived more than I'm going to live, guys. Not an easy thing to say. So the first thing I'd like to do is I want to pull some cards for the just general energy in the world, and see where we're at with that. So you guys can all send me some energy to get that going tonight. We'll do that first. Okay. And if anybody wants to call into the show, maybe we could put the phone number up. Okay. We have an intern in back, Carmine, and we got Bobby back there. I got a whole booth of people. Oh, so the other thing I wanted to say is you guys see the Zencuda logo behind me? Well, we're making all kinds of authentic, I can have the camera back up. If we're making all kinds of T-shirts and all kinds of swag with my Zencuda logo. And the reason why we designed this originally, this has been my design for a while now, and it is trademarked. The reason why this is my design is because it's a ball with the Z in it for Zencuda, which we all know the mission behind Zencuda is light in the world, community. We are unshakable, right? And so the Z ball is a light. I always say to people, I'm going to throw you a little Z light, and that's the Z ball. On the back of the shirt, it says Zencuda, join the wave. So these will be in our Zencuda store, in our merch that we're selling. So look for those out there. I'm going to be wearing mine on the show. And if you see me out and about wearing my Zencuda swag, tell me if you're watching the show, okay? So out there in the world, so I'm just sending you all a little Z-ball light. Going to send up some hearts. So the first card that I pulled was the Two of Wands. Two of Wands upside down is meaning that it's a future card. You can see it's actually the card of the gentleman with the world in his hand looking out in the future. This card upside down means futures are delayed. And that kind of makes sense to me because the energy we're in right now is an energy of tying up loose ends as we come to the end of the year. And then in 2024, as soon as we hit, I'd say the second week of January, you're going to see things start to really move forward and the future start to come in. So this card in reverse means that the future is kind of delayed a little bit. It's a little bit further out than we realize. Second card I pulled was the Justice card. This is definitely coming in because it's a Libra card. We're finishing up a lot of Libran energy. This week, the Libra sun will go into Scorpio, and Mercury will also go into Scorpio. So the Justice card is coming out, showing me with this card about the future that there will be justice coming for us, that things will go back into balance a little bit, but we've got to shine our light. We have the Hermit here. The Hermit card is a card of shining light, being out on the journey of bringing light to the world. And when we see the Hermit card here in a spread like this, here we are seeing, and remember, this was the spread I picked for the world energy, that future is delayed. Things aren't going to change. The brighter future that's coming is still a little ways off. And I'm taking that as 2024. Justice will come. We've got the king sitting on the throne here of the Justice card. It's also the number 11. Justice card is 11, which is a divine number. It's like doors opening, 11, 11. It's like the doors opening of divinity. So what this is showing me is that there are better things coming and better times ahead, more stabilization. But we have a job as light workers, the hermit, not to hide under the bushel, right? That Matthew verse that I read, but to shine our light in the world. And if you really look at this spread, for those of you learning tarot or doing tarot, you'll see that the hermit, his lantern, is shining on the Justice card. So this is a great indication that we do have energy that we can manifest and bring into the world in a much more brighter way and really light our futures. We just have to be really committed to doing that and really get real about shining our light and keeping our vibration really hard. So this really gives me hope for the world. It makes me feel like things maybe won't be so long and drawn out. Maybe we will have some movement on some things. Also, I wanted to say before, towards the end of this week and into the weekend, when we have that energy of the sun and Mercury together with the south node of the moon, that's an energy where you will see sometimes leadership change. I know we have a Speaker of the House vote in this country that's really coming into play. That's an energy of leadership also. When I was talking before about the authoritative type of energy and the father type energy, it can be symbolic of things in your life resolving from a point of view of a father energy or a father figure energy. And also out in the world, in the global communities, it'll be an energy of leaderships changing, possibly the passing of one torch to another or leadership in that way. I had done some research about that aspect before I left, and it's very much about old patterns resolving to do with father type and authoritative figure type things in your life. So an example of that would be maybe you have an energy in your world that's very symbolic of something your father used to do. You know, maybe your father was an alcoholic or a gambler, and you have a tendency towards that. In this energy, that's going to come up really a lot, but there's going to be a reconciliation with it. Also, themes to do with your purpose in the world, your ambition, and leadership, your own leadership also can really come up in this energy. So those are themes that you're really going to see, but it's going to be different choices. So the energy, that father figure type energy, those energies of leadership, your own leadership and leaders around you that may be restricting or changing of the guard, they will come up karmically, but it is something you get a clarity on and now make different choices about. Also, eclipses are birth and rebirth. It's death and rebirth. So in eclipse energy, a lot of times you will get news of death and births. People having babies and people passing. Animals also during eclipse season, you'll see a lot of people. It's a leaving and coming, beginnings and endings. So you'll see a lot of transition, tremendous amount of transition. If people have been sick for a very long time, transitions happen in this energy. All right. So I'm going to pick cards now for you guys. If anybody wants to call into the show, the number is 516-945-9099. Got a few minutes left. I am going to pick cards. Can't see my comments. Why not? Here we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pick a card for, I don't know why, I'm feeling Anita. So Anita, I'm going to pick cards for you. I know I picked a couple of cards for you last time on the show, but we're going to do it again. I feel like this is maybe about newer energy. Um, wondering if you recently went for a job interview or something, because I'm feeling that. But I'm also feeling like a lot of new energy coming in for you. Like November is going to be a lot of changes for you, Anita. I'm seeing that. Um, Especially mid to end of November, like things really shift. You have a lot of shifts coming in. Just got the Ace of Swords card flew out of the deck, so that really is confirmation of that energy of the shift coming for you. Um, Page of Wands, so news comes in that is the shift, and then we've got the Queen of Wands, which I feel like is you. These are great cards. I feel like you've got the Ace of Swords coming in, showing you new beginnings and a lot of abundance coming. Then you've got the Page of Wands, which again is action. It's a news on an action. If you've been waiting for something to a decision to be made or news about something that you're waiting to hear about, you're going to hear that. And then the final card that I got was the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands in this spread is definitely you. It's you being more powerful and more assertive. So I think some ambitious energy comes in here, maybe more passionate energy. I feel this is about a lot of different aspects in your life. Clarifying that by meaning could be work and also home, new relationships, across the board. So if there's anything that you need to release or let go of, do that before November comes around. Especially that second week of November, you start to see shifts, and then lo and behold, energy just really comes in. I'm almost feeling this energy in my body as like sliding down a slide, like a chute, like whoosh, like that kind of an energy is what I feel for you. Also, what just popped into my mind, I don't know if you just bought crystals or if you're researching crystals, but I feel like you've either just bought crystals or you're going to be led to purchase crystals. I'm seeing amethyst, which is a purple stone. I work in that all the time. Rose quartz, also I'm seeing for you, and tiger's eye. So amethyst, rose quartz, and tiger's eye. If you don't have them around you, you may want to pick some of those up. I'm definitely seeing those for you. I don't usually see that energy, and I'm seeing it. So that's there. Especially tiger's eye is something that will bring you ambitious. Yeah, ambition, make you ambitious. Anita, it's coming. November's going to be a real change for you. Definitely. All right. These are from Michelle. Michelle, I know, is working on a lot of different changes in her life. So let me see. I'm specifically going to ask the cards, Michelle. Don't know if they'll answer me tonight, but I'm going to specifically ask the cards if there's a move in your future. Okay. Or anything to do about the situation that we were discussing this morning when you were in class with me. All right. So, okay. Came up this way. We got the Hermit card again. So that's a good news for you. And then we've got the Devil card in reverse, which is good because to me that's liberation. When the Devil card is in right angle, not reversed, that's an energy of self-imprisonment. So this is symbolic of breaking your chains. You're going to have some kind of liberation, some kind of freedom. And the fact that the Hermit is in here means also he's pointing in the other direction, which is the past. It means that the Hermit is coming in to light something of your past that you will be liberated from. So I think you know what that is. And then I have in reverse the Queen of Pentacles. This feels like mother energy to me. She's not ready to release this yet, and it will be released, though. So you have a little ways to go with this. Again, I'm seeing end of November, December on this. But I feel like what we were talking about this morning happens. I'm not sure if I see a geographic move for you just yet, but I do see some kind of a move. It may be more local than you think. I'm going to pick a fourth card also because they're just telling me to do that. My guides, yeah, this is hard work pays off. That's why they wanted me to take that card. This is the Seven of Pentacles, and you can see this card is a picture of a gentleman, and he's like resting on his staff, and he has all these pentacles, these coins coming to him. So this is liberation. It's a exchange of money. It is a release from the past. You've been shining too much light on the past, and this activity, this change, this structure that you're going through, this process is the word I'm looking for, that you're going through, is definitely a process from the past that is now looking to be reconciled and is going to be very liberating for you. So that's the read, baby. So it's good, right? Gonna pick some cards for Julie. Haven't seen Julie in a really long time. Julie is a Libra, I believe. I think she was, because a while back we had like a Libra club. We were all Libras. Everybody that was hanging out, we're like, how come we're all Libras? I still have like 5 friends who are Libras. Um, so let me pull some cards for Julie. All right. Whoop. Give these a good shuffle. I got to watch my time because I know Teresa with Tea Time is after me, and she is a really great guest. Next week, of course, again, we're having Kathy Marinelli Gagliano on. So I got the Death card in reverse for you, Jules. So that is great because that means life. Life force. Got the Devil card, which is in the right position. And then again, this Hermit. But the Hermit's reversed. So when the Hermit is reversed but looking this way, that's meaning to me that they want you to shine a light on your future. So I'm going to read this for you. So first I got the Death card in reverse. This is really showing life. It's showing that, we're headed into Scorpio energy in a little bit. The sun's going into Scorpio, completing that Libran energy. And what that really symbolizes for us is death and rebirth through the life cycle. Like Scorpio is, going into late October, November energy. And if you look, the leaves are falling off the trees and the roots of the trees are barren and, but there's a lot of stuff happening under the surface. Things aren't really dead. The leaves are crumbling, but under the surface, they're already nourishing and getting ready for spring. That's the Death card, the symbolism of the Death card. It's that evolution of life, light and dark, death and rebirth. So this is all about life. The Devil card is where we kind of don't honor that life and death evolution. The Devil card is where we get chained up. We're our own worst enemy, where we're maybe in temptation or we're surrounded by some kind of vindictive behavior. It could even be like thinking and circular thinking, where we're not bringing the light in. We're too much in a self-imprisoned kind of mode. The Hermit wants us to shine the light on our future and life and experience death and rebirth through the process of living. We can't experience death and rebirth through the process of death only. We have to experience death and rebirth through the process of life. So that's what we're really being shown here. I'm also going to pick a 4th card for you as well. And I got the Queen of Pentacles, which for me is you. And, them wanting you, my guides telling me that the spirit, the energy around you really wants you to somehow be really propelled forward and come in to a place where maybe you're still sweeping up a little debris and there is a sadness here I'm feeling. But I also really feel that there is a liberation that's going to occur, a future that's coming in. But again, really have to be grounded in light, really grounded in light, because I feel like you're slipping a little bit on that. And also this could be grieving a literal death, but that person who is on the other side wants you to go into light. All right. I feel like if someone does come to mind for you, eternal energy that maybe is passed over, this was a heavy energy for you. It was a critical energy for you. And now you are able to be liberated from that and really shine your light. So that's what my guides are telling me. All right. Last card for this evening that I'm going to pick for people is going to be for, and I think, Julie, it will come. Don't try so hard, just allow it. A lot of times people, and myself included, will say, oh, I'm trying. And that's very commendable. And it takes a lot of courage and valor. But I think that we have to just allow it. Sometimes it's like, I know this is going to be a really horrible thing to say because I know I go on public access, but this is the first thing that comes to mind, and forgive me. But it's almost like an orgasm, okay? If you keep trying to have an orgasm, sometimes you don't have it, right? But if you lay back and let things flow and allow it, all of a sudden it comes, right? So sometimes I feel sorry that I said that, but I kind of don't, because I know you'll all get it. We got to allow, we got to receive. We're trying and we're chasing something, right? And we all know if you chase something, it runs away. So allow it. Allow yourself to receive. And I'm going to do a whole show about allowing ourselves to receive, because that is an energy that, for whatever we have such a hard time doing in the world right now, we don't allow ourselves to receive energy. And we really do need to allow ourselves to do that. Let it flow, All right. So Kim Murray, going to do it for you because you're saying you're having a crucial moment. Please select cards for you. Kim, this is for Kim, trying to get in your energy. Kim, I feel like you're so blocked tonight. I feel like you are just like wall is up. You're either in fear or panic or just like I feel like you're very like not letting something in that needs to come in. Maybe that's truth. You think it is truth? We'll see what the cards say. I feel like just got the grief card, just flew out of the deck. Please, guys, light your light. Allow light to come. Let spirit lighten you because we're in too much grief. So, Kim, I feel like there's a truth that wants to come in. I've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. I've got the Page of Pentacles right side up. And I've got the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is competition. It's a battle, like you're in some kind of a power drama or power struggle. The first two cards are telling me that you're not really going to your foundation here. You're not going to your agency, your power. You're allowing someone to take your power away. And I don't mean that you are being weak. I mean you're allowing someone to take your power away by being in the fight with them. Like there's a drama here that is playing out, a struggle here that's playing out, and you're being drawn into it when you need to reserve your strength for better things. The Page of Pentacles is going to bring you some kind of a communication about this situation. But what I'm being told, I'm going to pick a fourth card. Yeah, the Moon is coming in. That's emotion. You're letting your emotions run away with you. You're like, I feel like you're blocked because I feel like you're angry or you're just annoyed. And I feel like that's preventing the blessing from coming in that you have coming to you. Let this situation go. Don't be in competition with it. Don't be in battle. Don't be fighting. I feel like you need to just kind of let it pause. Find your center. Find your foundation. Find that strong place where light lives and light grows within you. And that's when the solution comes. And it is a week like that for all of us, let me tell you. So that's what I got, Kim. So I hope that's on the money. I hope that helps. All right. Michelle is saying, yeah, I thought that was a little risque to talk about, but I'm like, they'll get it though. Yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, we were talking about something today. Must be that type of day, Michelle. Anyway, so thank you all for tuning in. I do want to say, go on that Zencuda Soul Space site on Facebook and post a picture of your light. What do you do that makes you so unique that you're spreading light to the world? It could be, anything. It could be something that's really special, like you're just an everyday hero, or it could be some really big accolade. But I want to see your lights shine. I'm going to post a couple of things about myself on that page, and let's keep it going and shine light in the world and be supportive of each other and allow ourselves to be seen, to be exposed, to be revealed in the light that we have surrounding us every day of our lives, and send that light out to all the corners of the world that really, really need it right now. All right, guys? You can find me right here every every Monday at 7 o'clock. It is Monday. Every Monday, 7 p.m., you can find me right here on Zencuda Soul Space. You can also find me on Zencuda Official on Instagram, Zencuda on YouTube, where there's almost 200 videos to enlighten you, and, of course, Zencuda Soul Space on Facebook. See you all next Monday night with Kathy Marinella Gagliano will be here, and I can't wait for that show. So tune in, tell your friends, and share the show. Thanks, guys.